The oil is warm before it touches you. A groom presses it into your shoulder with the flat of his palm, working the muscle beneath the skin, slow and unhurried. Your hands hang loose at your sides. One small lamp burns by the door. The stable smells of oil and horse. You are 22 years old. Today, you will race 3 times. This is a blue faction auriga in Rome on the 25th of September, 75 AD. By the time the sun sets, you will have won one race and placed in another. Bronze coins will be raining into the sand at your feet. 2 rival factions will be waiting outside the stables to buy your contract. You are not a hero. You are the highest paid asset in the empire. Everything you have been told about this day is incomplete. Today, we decode the real one. Rome, the 25th of September, 75 AD. Vespasian sits on the imperial throne in the 6th year of his reign. Vesuvius will not erupt for 4 more years. The empire is rich and hungry for spectacle. The Circus Maximus lies in the valley between the Palatine and Aventine hills, an oval track over 600 meters long. Marble tiers rise almost 30 meters on both sides. The stands hold between 150,000 and 250,000 spectators. When the gates open, the roar of the crowd carries across the Tiber. No civilization before Rome has built a sports venue this large. No civilization after Rome will build one larger for 18 centuries. 24 races are scheduled today between sunrise and sunset. This is the final day of the Ludi Romani, the 15-day games dedicated to Jupiter. 4 factions compete: blues, greens, reds, whites. They are not sports teams in the way you understand the term. They are corporate enterprises with contracted rosters, private stables, political patrons, and fan networks that reach into the imperial court itself. 2,000 years from now, the valley will still be here. The track will be a public park in the heart of modern Rome. But on this morning, on the right bank of the Tiber, a 22-year-old freed slave is being oiled in the blue faction stables. The compound smells of horses and warm leather. He will race today for a purse larger than a Roman senator earns in a year. The porridge is served in a small clay bowl. Barley, boiled thin, honey stirred through it while still warm. You eat slowly. On race day, aurigae eat little. Enough to line the stomach, not enough to come back up on the 6th turn. 3 spoonfuls, and you stop. The smell of your own skin surprises you, even now. Olive oil, warmed and worked into muscle at dawn every race day for 3 seasons. Faintly rancid at the edge of the tunic. You have stopped noticing it during the day. You notice it now, before the noise begins. The head groom of the blue faction comes to you last. He is a former auriga himself, retired at 29 after a naufragium in the circus that took 3 fingers off his left hand. What is left of that hand needs the back of your shoulder, working the seam between neck and collarbone. He does not speak. He never speaks on race mornings. He knows what the day costs, and he will not spend words on it. When the sun begins to lift behind the Palatine, you stand. 2 grooms hold the leather belt open. You wrap the 4 sets of reins around your waist, 1 set per horse. They wind tight enough to leave marks that will not fade for days. The reins are what steer the team. If you fall, they will drag you behind 4 horses at full gallop until you die. The belt cinches. At your right hip, the emergency knife is strapped in place. Small, curved, sharpened to a razor. By the time the sun clears the Palatine, 20,000 spectators are already in their seats. The pomp of circenses is about to begin. and you are about to parade before the largest crowd any human being has ever performed in front of. The reins wound around your waist stay there. 4 sets, tight, cinched. Through the whole pompous circenses, they press against your ribs with every breath. The parade takes almost an hour. Images of the gods carried on litters. Magistrates in white togas. All 4 factions in formation behind their standards. Blue, green, red, white. You hold the ceremonial whip in your right hand. The 2 Egyptian obelisks rise from the spina on your left. Both were already 15 centuries old when Augustus brought them to Rome. Above the imperial gallery, in the shaded box of the Pulvinar, the Dominus Factionis watches. He is the Roman equestrian who owns your contract. 2 men sit beside him. One wears the green sash of the rival faction. The other wears no colors at all. 3 different men, 3 different balance sheets. You are being valued in real time, and you can feel it from the sand. You watch the first 4 races from the staging pen. The starting gates are called charioteers, 12 of them arrayed in a curved line at the head of the track. They release at the same instant, triggered by a single lever in the hand of the presiding magistrate. Rome solved the problem of the fair start once with an engineering answer, and no one has improved on it since. The 4th race is running its 2nd lap when you hear it. Splintering wood, horses screaming, 200,000 people inhale at once and hold it. A dolphin drops on the spina. The race continues, and now the 12 starting gates are being locked. The red faction driver in the lane beside you is not looking at the horses. He is looking at you, and you both know what is going to happen at the 3rd turn of the 6th lap. Still with me? Good, because in a few minutes I'm going to show you something. 5 centuries from this afternoon, a chariot race in this same sport is going to kill 30,000 people in a single week, and it'll have nothing to do with sport. Subscribe to Decoded by Jack. Stay with me. The carceres release. 12 gates snap open at the same instant. The horses launch. You feel them under your hands before you see the track ahead. 4 bodies pulling 4 sets of reins tight against your ribs. The first laps compress. You hold the outside line through turns 1 and 2. You take the inside on 3. The red faction driver settles in beside you and always half a length behind, patient. By the 6th lap, your arms are shaking. The reins have cut into the skin above your hips. Your tunic is soaked through. The sand thrown by the front horses has struck you enough times that you no longer flinch. Then the 3rd turn. The red driver moves. You read it in his shoulders. His weight shifts toward you a fraction before his hands finish the pull. He is cutting across your line. You check your team, just enough. Your knuckles are white on the reins. He takes the inside. You lose ground on the straight. Sand from his front horses hits your face, hot and gritty. It tastes of copper and the sweat of 40 animals. Above you, the blue faction section is chanting your call sign in a rhythm that has not stopped in 6 laps. The 7th lap, you give the horses everything. On the far turn, you draw even. On the final straight, you pass. The stadium wave rolls the length of the circus. Bronze coins begin to fall. The bronze is still falling into the sand when you cross the meta by the length of the pole. You have one more race today, and by nightfall, 2 rival factions will be waiting for you at the gate of the blue faction stables with contracts. The water in the stable yard is cold when the grooms pour it over your forearms. It runs off dark and does not carry the smell with it. Horse sweat, pine tar sealant, both cling to your hands, and both will still be there when you sleep. You crossed back over the river as the sun was setting behind the Aventine. On the far bank, the 2 Egyptian obelisks of the Spina caught the last light. One brought by Augustus from Heliopolis, one from Karnak. both older than Rome. Both stood over the sand you raced on today. 3 races today. 1 win, 1 placement, 1 out. Your dominus is in the Pulvinar, negotiating. You are not invited. You do not want to be. The syndicate men will settle the number without you. In the stable, you are handed dried figs and dark bread. You eat sitting on the ground. A runner comes for the day's share of arena coins, and you hand him the small leather purse without counting it. He will carry it across the city to the insula where your mother still lives. She will not know what it cost you. You sit on the straw pallet, the belt still cinched at your waist. Outside the door, a man is waiting at the gate. You can hear his sandals shift on the paving stones. That is the day. Now let me tell you 3 things about what you just watched that almost no one outside of academic Roman studies knows. Decoded number 1. You are the richest athlete who will ever live. Here is what you have probably been told. The wealthiest athletes in history are alive right now. Michael Jordan, Cristiano Ronaldo, LeBron James, fortunes in the hundreds of millions. None of that is true. 2 generations from this afternoon, a charioteer named Gaius Apuleius Diocles will retire at 42. His fellow racers will erect a funerary monument for him in Rome, and they'll inscribe his complete career record on it. Number of races, number of wins, total earnings. The number is 35,863,120 sesterces. The stone is still in the Vatican Museum. Anyone can go read it. In 2010, in Lapham's Quarterly, the classicist Peter Struck priced that sum against the ancient wheat market. His number was $15 billion in one career, an order of magnitude above every modern athlete combined. You are the wealthiest athletes in human history. Decoded number 2. 1 in 5 of you will not see retirement. Look again at what you watched. The oil at dawn. The grooms. The head groom with 3 fingers gone. The knife on your hip. That wasn't indulgence. That was maintenance. You are a perishable asset. In 2010, Meijer published the modern study of the Roman racing industry. In 2021, Sinclair Bell followed with a 2nd volume. Both worked from the same corpus, the funerary inscriptions of the Aurigi, in Volume 6 of the Corpus Inscriptionum Latinarum. The stone's record races run, races won, age at death, cause of death. The career mortality rate is between 20 and 25%. 1 in 5 of you does not walk out. The reins around your waist mean this: if you fall, you're dragged behind 4 horses at full gallop, until the knife saves you or you're dead. That's why Diocles retiring at 42 was so unusual, his monument had to celebrate it. Decoded number 3. This was never a sport. Now the last thing, and this one changes what you're looking at when you look at your own city. The 4 factions you watched today, blues, greens, reds, whites, were not sports teams. Not in the way you understand the term. They were corporate enterprises, contracted rosters, political patronage networks, organized militant fan bases. Blues drew aristocratic money. Greens drew the popular urban vote. Emperors used both as vehicles for political messaging. The definitive study is Alan Cameron's Circus Factions from Oxford in 1976. 5 centuries from this afternoon in Constantinople, a chariot race in this same sport will detonate. The rivalry between the blues and the greens will erupt into coordinated urban insurrection. Justinian's forces will crush it, but not before half of the capital burns and 30,000 people are dead in a single week. History will call it the Nika riots. The racing was the visible tip. The machine underneath was politics. Tomorrow, you'll walk past a football stadium. You'll see the same thing. The lamp is low. You sit on the straw pallet in the stable, and one at a time you unwrap the 4 sets of reins from your waist. The leather has left dark bands on your skin above the hip bones. On the palm of your right hand, where the leather bit hardest at the 6th lap turn, there is a small cut. You lay the reins on the mat beside you. You unstrap the belt. You lay the emergency knife on the mat next to the reins, small, curved, still sharp. Outside the stable door, on the paving stones, the sandals of the syndicate man have not moved in an hour. He will wait as long as it takes. 19.5 centuries from tonight, your name will be dust. This stable will be dust. The blue faction will be dust. But the 2 obelisks you raced beneath today, one taken by Augustus from Heliopolis, one from Karnak, will still be standing in Rome, one in the Piazza del Popolo, one beside the Lateran Basilica. They will have outlived you and every empire that ever paid to watch you run. That is the trade you made. The lamp burns lower. You do not blow it out. You lie back on the straw with the reins beside you, and the knife beside the reins, and you close your eyes